Welcome to Healthy Runner. It is 2023 runners. We are here and we are going to do big things this year. We are going to do it and we are going to do it big. It may be tough, it may be scary, but we are going to rock it in 2023 with our running, our health, and our lives. Yes, we are. Happy New Year to you all. And I have not one, not two, not three, but five special guests with me today to celebrate this first podcast episode of the new year. And we are having a special kickoff party with our Healthy Runner coaching team. But before I get into today's episode, in which you'll get to know each of the coaches on our team a bit better, I just want to leave 2022 with a specific message for you. I want to thank you for your trust. I want to thank you for your attention. I want to thank you for your time, because time is the most valuable asset that we have. And I don't take it for granted that you picked this video or this podcast to listen to out of all of the other running related content out there. Whether you're an avid listener, this is your first time listening, whether you're a customer of ours, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening, for being here with us, learning and growing as a runner, and being on this journey together to make life a little bit better. That's what this podcast is all about. Not only learning the specific strategies on how to get stronger, how to get faster and stay healthy, but also grow in our life journey, because we know that if we can get out the door and lace up those shoes consistently each and every week throughout the year, then our lives are a bit better for it. So as I've had a lot of time to reflect this past week on my recent family vacation in Disney, I really took my longest time away from work than I have in my 5-year entrepreneurial journey. And I just wanted to say how grateful I am that you're here, and how grateful I am for having the amazing team that I do have to help serve more runners than I can possibly help all by myself. So really, that's kind of what this episode is all about, is getting to know the Healthy Runner coaching team a bit more. All of them have been repeat guests on the show, sharing their knowledge, wisdom, and experience in helping us learn more about a specific topic. But today, we'll be getting a little deeper into why they love being a run coach, their personal running goals, and some fun questions that you, the listener, have submitted. I promise by the end of today, you will have learned at least one interesting fact that you didn't know about one of the coaches on our team. And as I mentioned, we kind of polled our community and have compiled some questions that our runners want to know more about from our team. So who do I have with me here today? You may be wondering. First off, we have Brooke Zarnecki, who is a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and run coach. I have Kat Anabali, who is a run coach, group fitness instructor, Couch to 5K certified, treadmill extraordinaire, probably extraordinaire of many other things on our that she covers on our team as well. I have Latoya Felton, who is a run coach, NASM certified personal trainer, and weight loss specialist. I have Lu Fang Zhu, or Coach Lu, who is a run coach and ACE certified personal trainer, fitness nutrition specialist. And then I have Coach Whitney Lacombe, who is a run coach, certified personal trainer, sports nutritionist, and our Healthy Runner executive assistant. And I am Dr. Duane Scotti. I am a physical therapist, run coach, and the host of this show that you are listening to. So, first question that we have for you guys, and to really kick it off, is how did you become, and this was submitted by one of our clients, how did you become a run coach with Spark Healthy Runner? We'll start it off with Brooke.
Yes. So Dwayne and I's relationship has been like, I feel like we met with our business coach, right? Which is how we got to know each other. And then we just kind of started collaborating on how we could work together. And I started serving some of the clients in the Healthy Runner community. And then I became a client with a Healthy Runner community. I worked with Whitney for a while. And then I was like, you know what? This sounds like something and feels like something I would really enjoy. And that's just kind of how it happened. So, kind of right place, right time. And here I am with the team. So I'm really happy to be here with them.
Yeah, and we are super happy that you are here as well, as you had so much value, especially from the nutritional aspect. So, yeah, thank you for being here. And it is wild how things happen, and how things are connected. And yeah, it's just been so awesome learning from you, honestly, as I've been following your content for a while, and all the value that you do bring to our community. So, thank you for that, Coach Cat.
Well, I was a patient of yours first for
It is
posterior
very.
tib, yeah, posterior tibial tendonitis, and along the way, after I listened to you and did everything you told me to do, then I think you were just developing the coaching program, and you thought maybe that I could be a benefit because I did do a lot of Couch to 5K programs, and then it just progressed from there.
It has, yeah. Started out as a patient back when I was
Yes.
like treating patients.
Yes.
So and then yeah, Coach Latoya.
All right. So life has such serendipitous occasions that happen. And I think our connection was completely serendipitous. You and I met, I think originally at the New Haven Road Race. That's what it was the first time. Like I had seen you at the gym, but didn't connect who you were. I had no clue. Guy at the gym, like everybody else. And when I saw you at the New Haven Road Race, I'd ran it. We talked at your table. I entered, and lo and behold, I won the magic prize. I won the big bundle of everything. I don't know what was in their goodness. I even have the water bottle to date. To date, I still use it. Love it. One of my favorites. And I think we connected through that, and our energy worked together. You saw that I had value. You definitely had value. I wanted to party, and we just came together somehow. Isn't that how it worked? I don't know. Is
It
it? I don't know.
is,
It's been a
yeah.
while. Story I'm
You
going
were
to tell
like,
myself. That's
"Oh,
how we
you're the guy in the gym with those chicken legs." That's right.
I wasn't saying that.
Yeah, that was the New Haven Road Race. That was actually our first ever basket giveaway. So you were like the official. So it is like kind of serendipitous, as you said, because you're like our community organizer at like all the road races that we do together, and you and I kind of hold down the table and do some of the giveaways. So yeah, that is kind of ironic that you were actually one of the first ever healthy runner basket winners. And yeah, that water
Mhm.
bottle is like a relic now. That's I don't even have one of those anymore. So
Oh,
yeah, that's like a classic.
I could sell it to you vintage. We could go on eBay and see what we can get for it. Yeah, it's fair.
Coach Lou.
I believe that I was first introduced by my friend Katie Robinson into
That's
the
right.
Healthy Runner Facebook group, and I've been following along, but didn't meet you in person till that Wallingford road race, and then we get connected, and we did we did some run together, and you were saying that, oh, you should be a coach. So I listened, and I get my certification. And same thing, like during pandemic, at the beginning of pandemic, you start when you are brewing this help run a coaching program, and you said, oh, you want to be the original gangsters. And so oh, cool. And so then that's when it takes off. I
Yeah,
be
that's right. You were one of the original members of the old school Spark Fitness program. You, Latoya, and Kat actually. Um,
OG status.
where we were working
Yes.
out on Zoom
yeah,
Live during the pandemic, and had my bucket of bricks and my mall axe in my living room, and yeah, we had some fun. And then yes, I do remember going on some runs
yeah,
after that, Lou, and I was like, running with you, and you like had all this knowledge. I was like, you should be like a run coach.
right.
You like know a lot of stuff. And yeah, I just loved how you were constantly like researching information and just having this like thirst for like knowledge and learning more. And it's been great seeing your journey and like where you are now, with your coaching and your personal running. It is crazy how time flies. And then Coach Whitney, yes. How did you become a coach with Spark Healthy Runner?
Well, I actually took my run coaching certification course with Duane. We met during that course. It was via Zoom because of COVID, and the like your name in that Zoom call had where you were from, and I was like, "Oh, Connecticut. I grew up there." And we got put in a breakout room and we started chatting, and then we connected on Facebook and back and forth messages, and somehow I think maybe I pitched the idea of teaming up, somehow coaching together, and it just kind of snowballed. And eventually I joined the Healthy Runner team, even all the way out here in Arizona.
Yeah, I do remember when you had reached out, and it was great meeting you at the course. And that's what I love about like continuing education courses is like, the courses are great. You learn stuff, but honestly, it's the networking, and it's like just meeting people with similar interests that you have. And I remember, talking with you, and yeah, I was so happy when you did reach out. And I was actually in the phase of we were trialing, this new kind of coaching program at the time, and I was like, well, it might be nice having a coach not in Connecticut and branching out a bit for someone to be able to handle all of the runners that signed up for that coaching program. I remember you had like basically everyone outside of Connecticut. So we had like all different states, Oklahoma, we had Hawaii, we had a bunch of different people, and those were your peeps. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful information for you guys just to see how everyone did start out back then. I think we take it for granted because we know those back stories, but I guess a lot of you don't know them. So hopefully that was helpful. And you could probably guess how I became a coach at Spark Healthy Runner when I started my entrepreneurial journey 5 years ago. So that was originally a kind of physical therapy clinic when I was just really tired of really the sick care model, and just getting patients better when they were injured, and really have a passion for health and wellness, and really wanted to promote how do we keep people healthy so they don't get injured, and that is kind of how Spark Healthy Runner was born. All right, so the next question that we have that was submitted was, where does the love of coaching other runners come from? So Brooke, we'll start out with you.
I think coaching in general and education is always something I've been very passionate about, but run coaching specifically is something I'm very passionate about because like I'm a runner. So, I have my own experiences and have my own, I guess viewpoints on different things, and so I kind of wanted to impart that wisdom on other people. And I also mentioned before, like I just love educating and talking with others and motivating others to be, I don't want to say be better, but like improve themselves, improve their health, and really reach limits that they didn't think were possible. And I love that about my nutrition coaching as well. So it just kind of melds really well into me, my personal life, and just kind of, imparting my wisdom on other people. I think that's what I love most about it.
Love it. Love it. Coach Kat?
I love helping people realize that there really isn't one size or one type of runner, and that it doesn't have to be intimidating. I was very, very intimidated by runners when I started, which wasn't that long ago. You always have this vision of what a runner looks like. And I do not look like a runner if you have that vision a lot of times. And my goal is to tell people and to coach. And I love sharing with my clients that you can run. It does not matter what you look like, what your size is. That is a really personal issue for me. And I really think that I just love to impart that to clients, whether you're male or female, because sometimes males have the same, it doesn't matter. It's not, a weight issue necessarily, but to take the intimidation out of running and to make it user friendly for anyone who wants to get healthy. So I think that's my most favorite part about coaching, is to be able to do that for people and deconstruct the myth of you have to do this to be a runner, I think, overall.
Okay. Excellent. Coach Latoya?
So I love that. I think I'm feeling we're all going to have a thread that weaves us together in the crazy way that it does, is that we all have this love of seeing others shine. We want to give something we have felt from every level, whether it's I don't fit in, I don't belong here, how do I do this? I wasn't supposed to do this right and I learned from it. Let me make sure that someone else does that. I love helping people see their light and see that, yes, you can do this. You don't have to be Usain Bolt. You don't have to run BQ. You just have to move your body and run. And I love to see that light shine out of people when they realize, OMG, I did that. I can totally run. I am a runner. Yes, you don't fit in a box because running doesn't have a box. We all are in it. And that's what I love sharing with other people. Yeah.
Lou?
I I love coaching because I love all the running communities. I like this. I like working with runners, and it's just fun being around with these great people. And I have been through a lot of I have been through a lot of running experience myself. I start with made a lot of mistakes, and I improved a lot along the way. And I read books, and I just like to share. And just like other coaches, seeing someone else that seeing them change, they grow. It's so satisfying. Sometimes even more than yourself, and that's what I really love. Like seeing people, wow, they improve so much, and sharing some knowledge they never know, and they have been doing something that they didn't know they did something wrong, they didn't realize it, and then you help them, they improve. That's just so fulfilling, and I love it. that's that's really where my passion is, and just being with people and this running community is itself. I've learned a lot through that coaching myself too, and it's been so rewarding.
Thank you for sharing. Coach Whitney?
Well, I'm going to kind of say the same thing as everybody else. I love helping other people realize their potential. Like somebody didn't think that they could ever run a 5K and then they go and do it. It's just rewarding to see the joy on their face, to hear them just excited about their accomplishments. I think it's fantastic. And then my cheesy answer is I get to talk about running and people can't tell me to stop. So, my husband's always like, stop, enough running talk, enough. But now I can talk about it with everybody and they actually want to hear it. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I guess, my love of coaching other runners really, I guess, stems from my love and passion for education as kind of someone who educates like physical therapy students to someone who's educated patients, right? When I was kind of in a clinical practice for all of my career, like patient education was always like something I valued. And, I felt like I did a really good job of that. And yes, I like the skill stuff that we do as physical therapists and, do a manipulation and, do some soft tissue work. And, you learn all these like skills and techniques, and those are fun to learn, but the connecting with my patients and communicating with them and educating has always been like a passion of mine. So as kind of I've morphed into more of a coaching model, and getting to do it, like you said, Whitney, with something that you love and you're passionate about. And, when I really, started my clinical practice and really niched down to working exclusively with runners, it was like, oh, I can actually talk to all of my quote unquote patients or my clients about something that I love talking about. This is awesome. Yeah. So I guess for me, it's really a matter of, educating, kind of a lot of what you guys said, educating on things that I didn't know when I started out as a runner, all the mistakes that I've made and that I continue to make and learn and grow. I'm just a couple of steps probably ahead of, some of you listening to this. I'm probably a lot of steps behind many of you who are listening to this as well. And, just being able to help others get to a point in their running journey a little bit faster than they would have if they just kind of struggled on their own. I think seeing that change is pretty awesome, and really kind of, I guess, is why I love what I do. And even just like being away, don't get me wrong, like being away and vacation, like I totally needed it. But even getting back in the ring like today, and, I had 3 client calls today, and just, hearing about their changes that they've made over these past couple of weeks, and just seeing how things are easier for them. Their running is easier. Like that is just, I love it. And it's just awesome feeling to be able to have that impact. And I guess this other question that was submitted is very similar. So feel free to, add in anything that you didn't get to answer on the last question. But I guess it's just a little more specific on like, what do you enjoy most about run coaching?
So I definitely is like the second half of what I just said in the previous question, but really helping people see their potential when they don't see it. And like, when people are like, I don't know if I can run a marathon in 6 months. I'm like, you're running 30 miles a week right now. Like you can run a marathon in 6 months. Or, even a 5K, like you can do a 5K in, a couple months. And it's just really, really empowering to see that and watch it happen. And then, the client or the runner is just so psyched because they did something they never thought they could. And that's what I love about it the most.
Yeah, Kat?
I actually love meeting people from all walks of life with so many different personalities and so many different interests. I have so many different interests myself that it's great when I meet somebody and I'm like, hey, college football, hey, movies. It's just so many different, people that I've met over the coaching. And I love learning about their personal stories, not necessarily, of course, the running stuff, but their personal stories. And that's one of my favorite parts of it, is learning about something different or somebody's different.
Can I just answer ditto for both what Brooke and Kat said? Because
Yeah.
Me too.
you guys we're on the same page, the same wavelength. I love watching someone grow and blossom. You have, not like they're my kids, but you watch them, they start and they're not sure of themselves. And then they get stronger and stronger. And then they're off on their own running 26.2 or 13.1. That's what I love. I love the release when they're done. They're never done. We always sign up for another race, right? But that they said they could do it. It makes my heart happy. Whatever they said.
The transformation, right? Just to, that transformation and them, turning into a totally different person, right? By the time they're done with that. Lou or Whitney, anything else to add to that?
It's empowering.
I love working. Oh, sorry, Lou.
Okay,
Go ahead.
it's empowering. You just like many of you have said, you see people who didn't believe that they can do it, but then you just give them some guidance, give them some confidence, and you use your expertise, the coaching expertise, and they reach to the goal. They get something done they never even dream of. We have that kind of thing in our own journey too, so that's great to see that repeated in someone else's journey. That's just so awesome.
Yeah. I really like getting to meet, like Kat said, getting to meet people from all over. I mean, I have clients right now in Switzerland and Denmark and Oklahoma and California and just all over, not just the country, but the world, because we coach virtually. We are able to do that. And we're able to meet people outside of our own small little bubble communities, which I think is just fantastic. And it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's definitely been one of the things for me, going from local clinician to virtual coach, that I've really gotten to appreciate. I've always enjoyed, treating various patients and like getting to know different types of people and like their stories and things that I wasn't, familiar with growing up in my background or in my kind of little bubble that I'm in, right? But being able to expand it geographically as well, I've definitely loved that, especially internationally, right? And just learning about Scotland and learning about the UK and learning about, and then, our first client from Switzerland, it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. And just learning about their cultures, the regions that they're living in. And our clients, one of them this morning that I was on the call with, like Minnesota, it was like, they're going to have frozen ground until spring. I'm like, really? So like it never melts? Like, they're like, nope. Yeah,
No.
it's not going to be melted until the spring. So it's like, I'm going out there and, there's some dirt and some snow on the ice and, I'm getting out there for my runs. And so it is very interesting to kind of learn about the different areas that, but I think we all have this similar common goal, right? Of we're still running no matter where we're doing it. We're still runners and we still utilize running as that medium to be able to stay healthy, right? And be able to do the things that we love in our lives. So it's pretty cool. So I guess another question that we had submitted was, what are your personal running goals that you have for either 2023 or, I don't know, next 5 years, 10 years, 50 years?
Oh, this was such a hard question. I read this earlier and I was like, man, I don't like, there's so many goals I have, but if I'm looking at short term, it's just to maintain running with where I'm at right now, stay consistent, and get stronger. Like, I really need to work on my strength. So that is my goal right now as a runner, is to get stronger. Not necessarily increase mileage or do any races, but just get stronger, get consistent with that, and build that habit so that when I do go to run a marathon or an ultra marathon or a trail race that I really love, I can do it because I'm strong and not because I can't drop out because I'm injured or something like that. So strength is my goal right now.
Love it. Coach Kat?
I kind of chuckled on this one because my personal goals are personal. But overall,
which is totally fine, by the way.
But overall, I basically want to see what my body can do with running. That's like test the limits. So I'm not giving specific like distances, but just to test the limits to see what my body can do at this stage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal.
I can respect that, because that was kind of my goal last year with going back for seconds for the marathon. It was like, can my body handle it? And like that new distance for me, because it was 5 years. And the first time I did it, quite frankly, I felt terrible and I felt like I was injured. So I can respect that. Yeah. Thank you. Coach Latoya.
All right, so I have long-term goals, midterm goals, but my long-term goal is to really be one of those little old biddies at a 5K race with a matching track running suit on, maybe a visor. I'm going at it and I'm going at it, and I'm healthy, and I finished my race, and I'm lapping all my friends at the senior center because I stayed strong, I stayed healthy. I followed the principles that I preach, and they lasted me to be 80. And then I get a nice little trophy or a mug to add to my case. I mean, when you're 80, that's a big deal. I got goals. So in order for me to do that, I got to stay healthy and stick with my strength and lift some heavier things. I've got to run some distances and just, my goal is to run until I can't. That's what I'm going to do. Fast, slow, medium, in between, all that will happen because life happens, but I'm going to be the little old biddy in the tracksuit at the race. Come stay at the end of the race and cheer for those grandmas and grandpas who are out there moving, because one day it'll be you or me if you keep yourselves right. So that's my goal.
Latoya, you and I are 50 years from now, we're going to be like podiing up the 90s. We're going to be up there getting first place in the 90s section. You and I will be taking pictures together.
I do believe that.
And when you said tracksuits, there's like a family joke we've had like all week. Apparently, like, it's cool now for kids to do like the matching track like sweats and like sweatshirts. Like that was definitely a no during my generation. So now we like make fun of and we talk about it. Like, I don't know if you guys seen Despicable Me, like Vector. We talk about like Vector
Right, my
outfits.
favorite
We're going to
color.
get like family Vector outfits.
Yes. My granddaughter was just in a matching pink and white Adidas tracksuit yesterday when I saw her. So if she can rock it, Gigi can rock it when she's at the race. I'm going to do it. Yes.
Yes. Yes. That was like so uncool when like I was in high school and it was like
Yeah.
such an 80s thing. It was like 80s breakdancer, you know, it was like, you know, the matching suits and yeah, now apparently it's coming back. So, Coach Lou.
I have a general goal and a specific goal. General goal is really like lifelong running. I hope I can still run at least a half marathon, hopefully marathon at age of 80. And currently, a specific goal is I'm trying to run a marathon in all the 50 states, and maybe even 50. The 7 continents, but that will be a little more aggressive. So,
Oh,
Yeah, I
Lou,
told
that's
Lou when he does
awesome.
Africa, I'm going with him. We'll go
Nice.
run
Yeah,
in
we're
the
all
safari.
going.
We'll do a
Let's do
marathon in
it.
the safari.
No, I'll go to
That's awesome.
Antarctica.
that's it.
I'll go
Oh,
with
that
you to
one's
Antarctica.
cold.
That
That one's
that's a
cold.
hard one.
No.
I got you
Not
on
happening.
Antarctica.
Nope.
That one I'm going with you, Lou.
Yeah, that's a hard one, but it will be fun. It will be a runcation. Doing
Yeah.
Yes.
it feels like
Yeah. How many states do you have so far, Lou? I know you did a bunch of races this past year in a couple of different states. How far along are we? I know you just started this
yeah,
journey, but how many states do you have?
only 8 or 9.
Okay, still that's very respectable
Okay.
considering it's only been a couple of years.
Right. I've been only running only one marathon per year for 4 years, and then suddenly last year was like 5, 6. But 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 then most of them I did it really easy. I not racing it, and I'm just having fun going to another state and then meet different people, the running community, do a travel, and it feels like a vacation is it's not complete if there's no run.
Yep. No, hey, it's a great way to see different parts of the country. I think I would definitely want to do that. Definitely not marathon in all states. I don't think that's going to be in the cards for me, but possibly half marathon
Yes.
in all 50 states because we like to travel. So I agree. I know I need to definitely plan out my family vacations a little better with like races that are happening in those areas. I need to be a little bit better at that planning thing.
I'm doing 50 half marathons in 50 states along the way.
There you
Yes.
go. Nice. You might as well.
Right.
Double dipping. You're awesome.
Oh man, Lou, you're great. Oh my goodness. Coach Whitney.
So my overall goal is to stay healthy, and I'll be right along with you, Latoya. We're 80 in our tracksuits because I like matching outfits. But my short-term goals, I actually am doing a marathon in 4 weeks, and then I'm going to try something new this spring. It's part of the Flying Pig series, so it's a 1-mile race on Friday night, then a 10K and a 5K on Saturday, and then a half marathon on Sunday. So those are my short-term goals, but ultimately I want to stay healthy and active and, be that grandma up on the podium.
Yeah, I hear that's a great race. I've had a couple of clients run that race. The medal is really cool. So yeah, you're gonna.
I'll get an extra because of the challenge, and I like medals and bling and T-shirts, so I get all of them.
Nice. Yeah, no, you definitely have to fill us in on how that goes. And yeah, you're like peaking right now in marathon, and then you got taper time coming up soon.
Yeah, I have 18 on Thursday and 20 next week. So.
All right, This is it. This is like crunch time.
It is. I can't wait to carbo load.
I love it. Yeah, so my running goals really are I definitely will tackle the marathon this year again in the fall. I'm not sure exactly which one I will be doing. I haven't decided on that, but I will definitely be doing a spring half marathon, which is going to be a little challenge to schedule with my girls' travel volleyball schedule. So we have two in travel volleyball. So literally, I think I figured it out on my calendar. There's only 2 weekends. One of them is Easter, and another weekend, which is actually my daughter's birthday weekend, that we're not traveling. So I'm going to have to see if it works out that I can do a race either of those weekends. Or possibly, like I said, when we're in Boston, when we're in Philly, maybe there's a half marathon that weekend that I'm there. So I need to do a little research and get a date on the calendar because I am a planner. So I would like to definitely do that. But just like Brooke said, in terms of strength, that's where I am right now. It's actually very exciting. I always love. It was actually cool the other day. Yeah, yesterday, Monday, the other day, it already feels like multiple days ago, was my first day in a new gym. It's always nice to go to a new gym, right? We have a membership. There's like 2 gyms in my town. One's like the smaller gym. It's a little bit easier, I guess, access wise, get in, get out, that kind of thing, a little more low key. But then there's the other gym that actually has the squat racks and a little bit more equipment. So now that I am kind of not in race season, it's really doubling down on the strength and really getting stronger. So I'm really looking forward to, and I had probably one of the best strength workouts that I've had in many, many months yesterday. And I'm really looking forward to new setting, new gym, really progressively building up a like periodized strength program with some heavier lifting these next couple of months. And really just getting that strong foundation and base miles in. So I'm really structuring that out to progressively increase that base miles. And then I could really hit that half marathon training for when I do get that half marathon on my calendar. So that's kind of what I got going on for this year's running goals. And then, yeah, like you guys know, lifelong injury-free running, 90 years old, boom, running into the box. Like that's the goal. That's the long-term goal. But I did really enjoy even though the outcome wasn't exactly what I wanted with the marathon last year, I really enjoyed the training. And I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed that training. And I do, I actually am looking forward to going through that again. I just don't, I guess I'm not ready to do that exclusively or do like a spring and a fall marathon kind of training cycle. So those are kind of my yearly goals. All right. So next question we had is, what are your thoughts actually talking about marathon training? What are your thoughts on running 2 marathons a year? One of our listeners would like to know.
So I think I'm going to pass this question off to a more experienced marathon running coach. It's certainly possible, but I want to hear from the expert in the room.
Oh, I love that. I love that, Brooke. So like, yeah, we all have our like strengths, right? But we don't always know everything about everything. So I respect that answer so much, Brooke, because we need to know what we don't know as well, right? So I love it. Kat, would you like to weigh in?
I'm gonna actually probably let Lou handle this one. But my best advice is it depends on the individual. There are some who can undoubtedly run 2 a year, no issues. They can even race them or run them. They can do it. Others, no. It really is, in my opinion, from what I've seen, a very individual person, their injury history, their ability to train, their time to train, how much time, how much they want to train. But a lot of it is just very, very individual. Are you willing to train in the middle of winter for a spring and a fall? Are you willing to train in the middle of the summer? So there's just so many variables. So I can't really, it just depends for me on the person.
Love that answer. Latoya, would you like to add anything to that?
I'm going to defer to the expertise of Lou on this.
Yeah.
With the comment that you can really do anything, but can you do it well is the opinion that I always turn to. Can you do it well? Because if you can't do it well, that's going to lead to injury. It's going to lead to stress in your family. It's going to lead to stress in your work life, and it all butterfly flaps its wings. It all affects it. So the answer is yes. Should you and could you? I don't know. Lou, you have a good answer on this one. We're all ears. What do you think?
Yeah.
Can you run more than one marathon in a year? What do you think?
Yes, definitely you can. But you also, just like Kat said, there are many factors. Let's assume that 2 marathons a year, meaning you are racing 2 marathons a year. That's super different from jogging a marathon, like having a marathon for experience. For example, now I'm trying to run Boston every year, and I hate winter training, so I'm gonna run Boston for the experience. But then train hard in summer and then race a full marathon. There are people, especially people in your early 30s or late 20s, you may be able to recover super fast. 2 marathon a year, you can take it, no problem, and you can do that. You can recover fast. And remember, either in the heat or in the winter, they are all impact to the body. And most of us are not all-time athletes, so we can only recover so fast. Are you able to take the impact for 2 seasons super intense and still recover no problem? It really depends on individuals. And also, are you able to train both in the summer and in the winter, geographically and personally? And for me, it's I've been playing with it, and it's not good. I I've been running only 1 marathon per year and trained it really hard, and it has always yield good result. So every year I get a good improvement. But then I try to run another one, and I train hard in winter and then get injured. And it's when you train 2 hard marathons, it's very different, and it's going to be a lot of impact on your body. So you also, again, it depends. First time marathoners, probably not. If you run a couple marathons, then you may start to run 2 in a year. But even so, that depends on your recoverability, how fast you can recover. Whether you like to train in the winter, whether you like to train in the summer. In the winter, it especially when you do speed work, it's really easier to get injured because the ground is tougher and the body is just not as loose. And the weather, it can be unpredictable in the spring. I hope that's a lot of question there, but it's really just depend on individual, depending on where you can recover. That also relies on the year planning. You don't want to be in a peak marathon training all year long, especially if you follow some really intense program. That's you definitely gonna give your body some time to recover. If you want to be lifelong marathon runner, lifelong runners in general, you every year you want to recover. If you just do a marathon hard and then do another marathon very hard, your body may eventually break down if you don't give it sufficient time to recover.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. Whitney, do you have anything to add to that?
Not really. I just want to say if this is something that you're considering, I would say talk to a coach, talk to somebody who's experienced and get their input. We use a platform where we can see what you've been doing in the past. We can chat about your run history, where you're at currently, what your goals are. Talk to somebody who's experienced, talk to a coach, talk to one of us, and we'll give you an honest answer. Like, yes, this is realistic, or maybe not. Let's maybe a half and a full, or a 5K and a full, or something else. But just talk to somebody, get somebody else's opinion, because it's a lot on your body. It's a lot of time. So
I think such great insight. I think trying to summarize this and kind of share what I heard from each of you is really, it depends. That answer that we all love, right? It's going to depend upon the individual, depend upon your goals, depend upon your health, depend upon, are you looking to do this for the long run? Do you have the time in your life, not only the will to do the training, but do you have the time in your life to do the training? And the recoverability that Coach Lou talked about, I think, is very, very important. And I think this question comes from things that we see out there on social media, stories you hear of other runners, like us just hearing about Lou, right? Running 50 states. Like that sounds super awesome, right? And that sounds super cool. And those that have been following Lou's journey the last couple of years, you're like, oh, wow, Lou's running another marathon. Wow, this guy ran like 4 marathons last year or 5, whatever it was, right? And it'd be like, I could do that, right? And, just thinking about, did you know that Lou actually didn't race all of those marathons, right? Like we don't always know all the stories. And I think it's so easy for us as runners to get infatuated with chasing the next goal. And you do one marathon, you're like, I'm going to do more. I want to get more medals. We talked about medals, right? And even, like the Run Disney events, like that's coming up this weekend. And we were actually, when we were at Disney last weekend, we were talking about that. Like my wife and I, that was her first half marathon. We're like, maybe next year, 2024, we'll do it again. But I think you need to take all these things into account. And also, remember, you don't know everyone else's other situation. And I think the general consensus here is it's going to take a very special athlete, one that's experienced, one that has discipline to not only do the training, but to hold back when they need to. And then one that has developed years of strength, health, and running miles under their legs. I think all of those variables really go into account when making that decision. So hopefully that's how I summarize things in like a little, mini dissertation, but that's why we have a podcast, and this is not TikTok for runners.
We don't want TikTok for runners when it comes to a question like that, right? No way. The devil's in the details. You got to know that stuff before you get injured and can't run again. So that's awesome.
This next question relates to the marathon, and Brooke, you kind of deferred the last question.
All
but
Brooke,
I think we're going to defer this one all to you. So the question is, how can you ensure you're taking in the correct level of electrolytes and water?
Yeah, this is a wonderful question. And like you just said, Duane, it's like, I'm going to try to keep it brief, but it's never brief when it comes to nutrition stuff, because it's always an it depends. So, your hydration needs and your sodium needs, it's going to vary race to race, day to day, depending on environment, where you are, if you're in elevation, your gender, like all of those things come into consideration here. And what I'll say to keep it mostly brief is, if you are running your miles appropriately, like you are building your miles appropriately to the marathon, you have a really strong base going into the race, like that you can run 26.2 miles. And you've also been practicing your nutrition during those long runs leading up to your race, and your daily nutrition practices are also in place, then getting into that marathon, you'll know if your fuel and your sodium needs are adequate, if you are able to get through the race without cramping, without nausea, without throwing up, without hitting that wall at 20 miles. And let me also just add a major caveat there. Like, you also have to make sure that your pace is appropriate, right? Because we can't just blame everything on nutrition or everything on, pace. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But if you have somewhat of an idea of what your body needs, like through your long runs, you're going to be able to translate that really, really well into the marathon, so that you're not questioning yourself. But essentially, you shouldn't feel like your legs are cramping up at mile 16. Like, that's a major problem for nutrition, major red flag if, again, your training is appropriate. So does that summarize well enough, Duane?
I think it does. Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
Practice. That's how you know. You practice it all during your long runs, right? You don't just go willy-nilly on the race day. It's practice. Then you know what you really need.
It does. Is
Exactly.
you practice
Yep.
listening to the body, and that's what I'm. When you in the training, you practice feeling of the running at different paces. So that's what the progression runs when you do, right? But it's you in the long run, you practice a racing strategy. You practice the the fueling, you practice the outfit, you practice the pacing strategy. And by trying different field, by running a long run at different speeds, especially when you have some long run with different speed, right? You get a feel that how long you need to refill, you want to take water. And then you sort of get an idea, like the ideal time you need to get a drink of water, and the interval you want to get the feel, and then you take that to the marathon. So you listen to that, to your body. The other thing is that in our training run, we usually run at a slower pace, so that, well, while in the race you run at a faster pace. While you're running faster, the body's taking more calories from the carbs than the fat. Well, the more percentage from the carbs than when you're running at a slower pace. So, that means if you take the gel every, for example, 45 minutes during a practice run, in a race, you probably want to take it every 30 minutes because there's more percentage of energy comes from carbs. So all this you can practice. You can sort of practice that in your training too. When if you have a long marathon pace run, you can sort of fulfill that. But yeah, some additional points that I want to add.
Excellent. Thank you for adding that. And what is one piece of advice you give all of your clients but struggle to follow yourself?
This one is so easy for me. Strength training. Oh my gosh. Every single time I'm going to say strength training. It's so hard for me to find a rhythm, but I'm working on it.
Coach Kat?
Don't second guess yourself. That's just trust yourself and the plan and your coach.
Coach.
That was just added.
Coach Latoya?
I do trust my.
Coach Latoya?
Well, I practice everything I preach, don't you? Absolutely. 8 hours of sleep, all the water and protein I need. I stretch after every run. I couldn't imagine not doing what I say I think you should do. Oh my goodness. Probably sleep. I know we all need it, and you burn the candle at both ends, but I preach sleep, sleep, sleep. And there's still 24 hours in a day. We still have to get it all done. So that is one thing I work on is my sleep hygiene. I need more than 6 hours. Yeah, definitely. Or we need
Lou?
extra 8 hours.
Same here. Sleep. And I know that sleep is important, and sleep is sometimes more important than training itself. But and if I get a good sleep, I know the next day the workout will be better. But yeah, with a long to-do list, sleep is usually sacrificed, and I need to work on that as well.
Coach Whitney?
Oh, I would have to say foam rolling. I schedule it in all my clients' calendars 3-4 times a week, and I probably do it once a week, maybe. But yeah, I need to get better about it. That's part of my resolution is my rehab before and after my runs. You know, do it as my warm up, do it as a cool down, just get that foam rolling in.
Yeah, that is certainly not my problem. I love my rumble roller. I'm on that thing before every run, after every run. So that's definitely not my problem. But I am in agreement with Coach Latoya and Coach Lou is definitely the sleep bucket in terms of recovery and making sure that we have the energy for the runs that we need to do and that we recover properly from those runs. So that is definitely something that I talk about with my clients, and it's a part of the training. And recovering, like Coach Lou mentioned before, is a part of the training, and we always do stress that. So that is definitely my biggest struggle and is one of my goals. And Brooke, you talked about habits for the new year. That is my habit. That couple days in here, and I'm getting back in my reading habit. It definitely fell off the bandwagon. I talked about that on the podcast before. After we had many of our self-care episodes this past year on the podcast. And it's really made a huge difference meditation wise, reading wise, winding down before bed, and really closing that computer, shutting the phone off, putting it on like sleep mode. I actually just adjusted in my iPhone my time parameters for that, where my phone will be cut off a little earlier. Hopefully that will help me maintain those boundaries, because there's only so much that we can give as runners. And many of you listening to this right now, you guys are parents, you're working, you're doing it all. But the sleep and recovery is super important. So those are our common struggles. So you are not alone. You probably related to some of our struggles. So you guys ready for a little spark lightning round? All right, we're going to go in the same order here. So we're going to go rapid fire questions here. So here we go. Some of these were submitted. So favorite race you've ever done?
Favorite race I've ever done. I did it with my dad. We did a trail marathon and we split it up. So he did half, I did half, except I did more than half. I did like 17 miles. He did the rest. But it was so fun. There was like mud up to our knees. At that point, you didn't care about time. It was just like you're out there, you're with other runners. And I know these are supposed to be brief, but we're talking about our favorite race. So that would be my favorite race, is a trail marathon with my dad.
Sounds super fun.
Rocky Run and the Wonder Woman Run. That's all I'm saying.
You got your Wonder Woman hat on, so of course you had to mention that.
Of course I had to.
So my favorite is the Anchorage, Alaska Summer Solstice Full Marathon, 26.2, running into the forest with bear, scat, and moose. That is a good time, let me tell you. Yeah, a little scary, but I'll do it again.
Shout out to Brooke over there in Alaska.
Boston 2021 for me. It's my first Boston, and it's a great experience. Plus, like, a lot of people from the healthy runner community are checking me, and I got a lot of cheers and encouragement. I'm feeling that I'm running for the team, especially a lot of people haven't run Boston yet, and I feel like I'm sharing this and like sharing this experience with everyone that I know who are thinking of running Boston, and that's just so much fun. And then people's cheering, encouragement, and meeting people. It's just amazing. And I ran a pretty good race there too. So that's my favorite race.
Coach Whitney.
I would have to say the Arizona Trail Race. It's an 8-mile race in the Arizona desert. It's extremely technical. I've done it 4 times. I will not be doing it this year because it's the day after my marathon. So I'm a little sad about that, but I will do it again maybe next year.
Cool. Yeah, I would have to say my favorite race wasn't any of the ones that I PR'd, but they were probably the 2 that I ran with my family members. My wife at Run Disney, her first half marathon, and just seeing her reaction to actually completing a half marathon. And then the turkey trots that I've done with my daughter, Olivia, who is just kind of getting into running, I guess you can say, in her running journey, and just pacing her and doing it in a turkey costume. Like, come on, who doesn't have fun in a turkey costume, running with your daughter, right? Doing like what you're passionate about. So those are definitely my favorites. All right, so do you have a favorite place to sit and be quiet and reflect?
I don't. I need to get better at this, but I don't have a favorite place. I mean, I guess nature is just my favorite place. Like, it's not really one place, but just getting out on the trail and running trails or hiking is like I love that time for me. And that's just how I clear my head. And I don't know, I'm not anxious out there. So that's what I would say. It's just nature in general, but not a specific place.
That's a place. Yeah, I'll go with that's a place. Kat?
On my tractor at the farm with nobody around me.
I dig the nobody around.
I laugh because it's a tractor. Well, because I'm sitting on the tractor. The tractor calms me in the field with nobody around.
Yes,
me.
got it. I used to love mowing my lawn on my tractor. I don't have a tractor anymore, but yeah, that was definitely.
They're good. Everybody should have one.
Coach Latoya.
So alone, my favorite part is being alone on the couch with nobody. It's just me, the couch, and a cup of coffee. Leave me alone and let me process my life. That's it.
Beach or lake
Coach
that's really clear, and you can hear the water, and it's so calming. And not specific place, but yes, anything near the lake or beach with a wind, that's great.
Yep. Awesome. Coach Whitney. Favorite place?
Can I say Target?
That's on target.
You can say whatever you want to say.
I mean, it's
Target, all right.
It's quiet, but I mean, nobody bothers me because I'm alone. It's great. And I can shop. So
do you just sit and try out like the couches and like pick up a mug from like aisle 7?
Just go up and down the aisles. I did that today. My daughter needed art supplies for art class. So, I went and did that, but I checked out all of the things that I don't need. And it was great.
All right. I wasn't expecting that answer. But my favorite place, I'm going to definitely go with Coach Lou with the water. We're big beach. So that's like our getaway place, but I don't have a beach house, at least not yet. Maybe like 10 years. I don't know, 20 years. So on a daily basis, it is my recliner in the corner of my family room. That's kind of my spot that at the end of the day that I will retreat to and have some quiet and do some reading, some meditating. So on a daily basis, that's kind of my favorite spot to get some quiet and reflect, as well as start my day. So I start my day there as well. But yeah, beach is definitely one of those favorite places that I just love to hear the crashing waves and the smell of the beach and everything involved with your toes in the sand. So that's where we spend most of our summers, at various beaches on the East Coast. Maybe we'll get to the West Coast at one time. All right. One of our clients submitted this question here. Favorite NFL team? This should be quick.
Go Bills.
Yeah, after last night, go Bills.
Yes, they've been my favorite, but last night was very scary.
Yeah, it was extremely.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, we don't have to get into that, but if you watch football or Monday Night Football, it was interesting and sad.
Yeah, I haven't heard the latest today. Hopefully there's been some positive news in health-wise. No? Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah. Positive thoughts going to all involved. Coach Latoya.
So I know about that sadness that's going on, but I'm not sure if football is the one with the pigskin ball or the black and the white ball, or it's the little ball you hit with a racket. I'm not sure what we're talking about here. Yeah, sorry.
So your answer is the New York Yankees? Is that what your answer is?
Red Sox I like. One of those. Patriots? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Not
All right,
a
Coach Lou.
football fan for me. I don't grow up watching football. It's
Okay.
my definition of football is different too.
Yes,
That's
you
true.
you kick it with your foot, right? Whitney, we Arizona Cardinals fan or no? No football.
My favorite football team would be the one that I can sleep to watching. I don't know. Sundays are for nap on the couch day at our house. So my oldest daughter and I nap on the couch while the boys watch football. So, no team.
Okay. Do the boys like the Arizona team?
No, actually, my husband really likes Patriots. His dad grew up just outside of Foxborough, so not
Okay.
because of the team, like
Sorry.
who's on the team or any of that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're a Bills fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm a
know.
New York Giants fan, so that is a favorite NFL
They're doing
team.
good.
Yeah, finally. It's been
Mhm.
quite some time.
2016. Sorry, I have the stats. I'm a big football fan.
So if you can compare yourself to an animal, what animal would it be?
I'm a cat, specifically a house cat. Like, I just want people to do things for me. I want to be waited on, and I don't want anybody to bother me. That's me. I'm a house cat. Indoor house cat.
That is amazing. Coach Cat?
Don't laugh, a possum. Because they're so misunderstood animals. They are some of the most beneficial animals. And I just have always loved possums. Just saying. They're misunderstood. I can give you entire hours about possums and their benefits to society, but I'm not going to.
I love it. I love it. Coach Latoya.
My other half calls me a junkyard dog. I don't know. I snarl and I nag and I get results. Yes, I do. I'm a junkyard dog. I'm going to get results. Yes. I'm protective. I know what I want, and I want you to do whatever needs to be done. That's why I'm barking at you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'm a dog person. I like
Coach Lou.
dogs. But if I compare myself, maybe like a bear.
All right.
I like bear hug. So maybe a bear hug.
I would have went with kangaroo after seeing some of your
That's
jumping
true.
abilities.
Kangaloo.
That works.
Kangaloo.
Whitney?
When I read this earlier, I said cat. I like to nap and I like to be warm in the sun. So I would be a cat too. Brooke and I could be house cats together.
Oh, I love it. I guess I would be a sea turtle because I want to live forever and enjoy lifelong injury-free running or swimming.
That's a good one.
I would also love
Yeah,
to be a
interesting.
cheetah, but then again, I'm not a sprinter, so they don't have endurance. I need to find out. I love big cats, so I love watching any of those stories about big cats. I don't know which one has the best endurance, so I have to find that out. That one. So, podcast, music, or silence during the run?
Silence.
No.
Music.
Music, and it better be popping too. Yes.
It better be
Silent.
popping.
I start with
Lou?
music and sometimes with a podcast. But when I'm really focused, I go
Latoya and
with
I.
silence.
Coach Whitney.
I do all three. It depends on my mood. It depends on the run. Am I like really mad at somebody or something? Then I'm going to do some angry like 90s grunge. Or am I trying to like just bop along? Then it's going to be a podcast. Or do I need to solve the world's problems? Then it's just silence. Just depends.
Love it. Yeah, for me, it's podcast. Unless I'm doing any faster running, it's music, and at races, it's music. So what was your first car?
Ha.
My first car was a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Mine was a brown Chevy Cavalier wagon.
Nice. So one of those like big station wagons.
It was a compact for the time.
Okay.
But it fit many college students, and if you counted the back of the thing without the seat belts, it could fit everybody. It was big enough.
Coach Latoya.
That's a long time ago, guys. I think it was a 1989 Plymouth Acclaim. Yes.
Okay.
The bad catalytic converter and the yes.
2001 Honda
Coach
Accord. I got it. I think the weekend I got it. I drove immediately to Las Vegas from LA. So I got it during the week, and then that weekend I drove to Las Vegas.
Hopefully you didn't get it stolen, because I got my Accord stolen from me. Those things were hot. Those are like the
I
hot
guess
ticket
people in
item to
Vegas,
steal.
they don't care about Accord.
All right. Coach Whitney.
It was a VW Bug, one of the new ones, dark purple, and I shared it with my dad. And he had to drive a purple Bug with a hot pink flower in the little vase thing. It was great.
I love that. I love that. Mine was a 1987 Cutlass Sierra. The interior was like all coming down. It was like on my head. I think I had to like staple it to the ceiling. But yeah, love that car. Cutlass Sierra. So you open your fridge. What is the favorite thing in there? What is your favorite thing in there?
I cannot answer this question. I don't know. I need more time.
Coach Cat.
Cheese. Very simple cheese.
Mine is tofu. My super brick of baked tofu. I love baked tofu.
Probably cakes.
Coach Lou.
Anything carbs isn't really.
Can I come over?
I buy cake sometimes. I ask about people's birthday so I can buy a cake for them and I can get a piece. I have an excuse to have a piece.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's actually good.
So if you're friends with Lou, he will never miss your birthday and he will buy you a cake. Because he'll want a piece.
That's awesome.
Coach Whitney.
I would have to say bitchin' sauce. It's made with nuts, but you can put it on carrot. You can dip your veggies in it. You can put chips. You can do crackers. You can do like anything. Chicken. Anything. It's fantastic. And I like all the varieties, all the flavors.
I don't know what that is. What kind of sauce?
Bitchin' sauce. It's made with almonds. And right now I have the Chipotle one because I could buy it at Costco. So I got the big bucket of it. And it's fantastic.
Okay. I've never heard of it.
It's really good. It's vegan. So it's very good. If you can't have dairy or any of that kind of stuff, it's fantastic.
We'll talk later. I'll check it out. Bake my tofu and dip it. Nice.
Yeah.
I would say for me, it'd be some fresh blueberries that were like in season. It tasted really good. Or eggs. Or I always do love my turkey as well.
As long as you don't mix them.
Yeah, actually I do at times. I don't put the blueberries in the eggs.
That's what I'm envisioning.
But you can have them on the side. You can have them on the side. So, Brooke, did you have a chance to think about this, or is it just everything in your fridge because you're so passionate about runners fueling more and eating more food?
I feel like this is just an unfair question for a dietitian. But because I've been in Alaska for like almost 3 years now, and I'm from upstate New York, I really miss fresh New York State apples. So if I could have those in my fridge, that would be every time I'd get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love my apples as well. And I've gotten a bunch of apple ciders, hard apple ciders from New York State. Yeah, we got some here in Connecticut as well. Very nice. So dream destination. Brooke.
Again, with these questions, this sounds so cheesy, but I think I'm living in my dream destination. The military brought us up to Anchorage, Alaska, and I never want to leave. So it's been quite the journey, and I'm very grateful for our time here. I love it here.
I love that answer.
Coach Cat?
Okay. Never answer normal, but Romania and Antarctica. Again, there's stories behind it, but we don't have time.
Okay.
So just Romania and Antarctica.
All right.
Go with it.
We're going with it. Coach Latoya?
I think Spain. Yeah, Spain would be my destination. Yeah.
I guess anything
Coach
that
Lou.
has a good run there. Any place that doesn't have a good marathon there, that'll be my dream destination. Sure.
Antarctica.
Fitting
will
for
be
Coach
in the
Lou.
plans.
It goes with your goals
Yes.
and hitting all the continents. Coach Whitney?
Rome. I want to go to Rome.
Nice. Yeah, I would say any beach destination. We were fortunate enough to go to Turks and Caicos. That was pretty much like perfect. As far as clear water, we actually saw some sea turtles, and it just being white sand. So any tropical beach destination, but I also do want to go to Italy as well. But hitting up like the Mediterranean, Greece, they have beaches, right? So that would kind of hit both of those goals of mine.
They do.
So favorite movie?
I am not a movie person. I'm sorry. I should not be starting these questions.
Brooke is like, why am I always first? Why does my name need to start with a B? Why couldn't my mom name me like with the Z?
It's maybe Napoleon. That was like a favorite growing up for me. Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay. Coach Cat?
Isabella's.
This was not an easy question. This was the most impossible question of all questions I've ever had. Believe it or not, I'm going with Top Gun.
I actually just saw that for the first time, believe it or not, yesterday.
The first one or Maverick?
No, the first one, because I'm going to see the second
okay.
one. So I needed to see the
my
first
God,
one. I couldn't believe that I never saw the original. And I watched it for the first time literally yesterday.
I could quote I literally can give you the movie line for line without watching the movie. That is my all-time favorite. It's a tough question, though.
Okay. Coach Latoya. She's like crying here. Coach Latoya's crying, laughing so hard.
I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. That would involve sitting.
I can't
and being
be
stagnant.
friends with you guys.
I just can't. There's no favorites. Don't sit. I gotta go do. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Coach Lou.
I watched an old Italian movie. Something similar to Life is Beautiful, but it's not exactly. It talks about a brother. They use different approaches to change the world. The brother wants to change the world dramatically, and then he's like really passionate and change everything dramatically, but didn't end up well. But the younger brother, on the other hand, try to do everything that's possible, every small things, and you end up like every little change that's changing the world as well. So that's really inspiring, and I really love it. I don't really remember the name.
Nice, Coach.
I'll find
now we all want to watch it. You're going to have to research the name. Coach Whitney.
It's hard to follow something serious like that. I don't have a favorite movie because I'm more show oriented. So Friends is by far my absolute 100% favorite show. I could, just like Kat, could quote every single episode without watching it. And I quote it all the time. And my kids are like, what are you talking about? But by far my favorite is Friends.
Pivot.
My daughter's friend came over today with a You're My Lobster shirt on today. And I was like doing it in the kitchen and she was looking at me like, what are you doing? She had no idea.
So I know you just
disappointed.
came to the city like the last 2 times you were on the East Coast. Did you go to the Friends Museum?
We did
Manhattan?
not. We did not. It's on my list, but we did the
You gotta do
Natural
it.
History Museum and Blue Man Group this time. So
Okay. Yeah, you got to do it. We just went actually last January, so a year from my wife. That's her favorite show. Like she'll literally, I'll just walk in the room and she's like cracking up of like episodes that she's probably watched like 50 times before. She'll still laugh out loud like hard, and yeah, she loved the museum. So you will definitely love that. So you'll definitely have to put that on your to-do list next time you're over in this area. So I would say favorite movie for me would have to be Ratatouille, just because it's just great memories of my girls when the movie first came out and I was watching it. And then, of course, it's like anyone can cook, Gusteau. Like I believe anyone can run. So, there's those parallels. And we just went on the new ride in Disney, which was absolutely phenomenal. For those that haven't been to Disney since the ride opened up in Epcot, it's like next level ride, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which is just ridiculous. So, Kat,
Avengers.
yeah,
I'm on it.
Guardians,
That and the Avengers.
Guardians
gotta-
is good.
If I ever go down,
you got to check that out.
Guardians was
just
Izzy's
be-
favorite. When we went last year, she had just turned 6, and Guardians of the Galaxy was her absolute favorite. We went over and over
who
and
doesn't
over.
like Rocket Raccoon? I mean, or Groot. Anyway, I'm not getting there. Movie issues.
All right, we're in the final stretch here. So, if you can change one thing about the misconception about being a run coach, what would that be?
I don't even know what the misconceptions are. Anybody? You got
Anyone
anything?
can answer it.
That you have to have all the answers. You don't. You
Yeah.
can go
Great.
phone a friend. You can, I don't remember what all the other things from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire are, but you can look it up. You can ask another friend. You don't have to have all the answers because nobody does.
Would you like to poll the audience, Coach Whitney?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my answer. Definitely is like that we don't know everything and that we don't do everything perfect.
I'm perfect,
At which we
but-
kind of speak for yourself, Duane. I am perfect.
I guess
Lou,
you
do you
don't
have
really
anything to
have to
add to that?
be a top elite runner to be a run coach, right? It's like you said, you are just a few steps ahead of another person, and you can pull them, and you learn along the way too. It's not like you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to start knowing everything. You don't, because then even the most knowledgeable person in the world doesn't know the answer of everything, and the fast runner doesn't have to be a good coach. So that's
Right on. Right on.
That was actually what I was going to say as well. If you're a accomplished fast runner, doesn't necessarily make you a good run coach, right? Just like any other sport, if you think about like the greatest coaches, whether it's football, basketball, like most of the greats were not great players. And most of the great players that we've seen in our generation actually are terrible coaches. So we've seen that story play out time and time again. And I would say the same thing happens with run coaches. All right. So, guys, if you guys have been listening to this and hopefully you've learned a little bit more about our coaching team, hopefully we've provided some insight into a little bit of the why, as well as learned some interesting fun facts about our team. And if you're currently struggling training for your first marathon, getting faster as a runner in the half marathon, or just starting your running journey and you want to figure out how to do it right from the beginning, then you can get the guidance, support, and accountability you need to get stronger, faster, and enjoy lifelong injury-free runner with any of the amazing coaches that you heard from during this episode. It's a new year, so why not invest in yourself this time and avoid the injury cycle as our team guides you toward your specific running goal and support your life goal. And we'll be with you each step of the way. If you're ready to see if you're a good fit for working with someone on our team, then you can schedule a strategy call with myself today and grab one of our remaining slots that we have available each month. We only have a certain number of slots each month that we open up and can take on new runners. So we can help you conquer your goal, whether it's a big race or it's just really getting consistent with your running and learning how to do it in a healthy way. You can schedule that call by just going to learn.sparkhealthyrunner.com/coaching to learn more and schedule that call with me. Thank you again, team, for allowing us to take a little peek behind the curtain and talk a little bit more about, some of the interesting facts that you have and some interesting things that we learned today, as well as some of your coaching philosophy and some of the misconceptions that we've talked about. So if you guys are listening on a run right now, we hope that you are crushing your run right now, and hopefully we added a few chuckles along the way. So go get that run, finish it, enjoy it, and let's maintain a strong mind, a strong body, and just keep running into 2023. Until next time.